Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Back so soon? Oh no, what happened?
A little incident at the dog park. We gotta head to the vet.
Oh, not again. These bills.
We can use CashNet USA. We can apply in minutes, get a fast decision, and have the money in the account as soon as the same business day. All right, Cheddar, back in the car.
When you need money fast, be the hero. All loans subject to lender approval. Speed of funding is subject to verifications and your bank's processing times. See CashNetUSA.com for more details.
Welcome back to another episode of Who's the Bitch?
Oh my God. Are you the bitch? Are we the bitch? We're all bitch.
We are for sure the bitch. I'm your number one. I'm not your number one bitch. I'm one of your bitches, Kara Klang.
Maybe you are their number one bitch, Kara. Don't say that.
I was like, I thought I'd say I'm number one bitch and you're number two bitch, but we're not ranking.
I'll
we
be
are
Dookie
equally
bitch.
Bitches.
You want me to be Dookie bitch for you? I'll be
Jackie,
Dookie bitch for you.
I just came out to you about how I have to poop into a cup for a medical thing.
You did.
And I don't want you to bring up that you're the poop bitch right now because you know it's me.
I know you are the poop bitch. Yeah.
Oh my God. Stool samples, everybody. Am I right? They're the bitch.
I've never had to get one.
I've never had to do it.
Or I guess
I've never had to do it. I've literally never had to bottle up my poop, and here I am. Sorry, guys. This is a crazy way to jump into the episode.
I don't think it is. I think this is just
back.
us, Kara. I think you got to let it out.
This is me. Yeah, this is our moment to tell you this is who we are.
I'm sorry, you're really burying the lead on the fact that you have to get the stool sample back to them within 2 hours of the shit being
That's the thing.
sampled. I think that's insane.
The option is you have 2 hours to get it back to them, or pop it in the fridge and you've got 24 hours. And I was like,
shit in the fridge.
The day you see me putting my own shit into my refrigerator, I just don't care. I'm going to get you the sample when I get it to you.
Man.
When it happens to come about that I have a time to bring it in within the 2 hour, that's when I'll do it. There will be no refrigerating.
Clank loves her shit on ice.
Oh my God.
Yes.
This
Put
is
it on
like
the
a
rocks.
big thing. You know, I never used to talk about stuff like this for myself. I never used to, like, podcasting has fully made me be like, well, any door you thought was closed, it's kick it open.
Right.
I literally, like, my friend just talked on her comedy special about how she called me out. I was in the audience of the comedy special about how I had to get Botox in my ass after I gave birth.
Why?
Which I now talk very openly about.
Where did they put it?
There
In
was
the
a
crack?
time 5 years. Right in the butthole.
In the butthole?
Not up the hole, like in the
surrounding
round
area?
part. Yeah, the anus.
You wanted it to be smoother? Was it too wrinkly?
It was so wrinkly and gross, and I wanted to be young and no, it was.
I believed you. For a second, I was like,
kidding?
wow.
Ain't nobody seeing that butthole.
I mean,
Come on.
Kara, I am not here to judge.
Ain't nobody seeing my butthole. I told you, my husband's like butt phobic. Anyway, he like so basically, I feel so bad. I'm sorry if you're like just driving to work and you're like, wow, ass talk right away.
I think this is good.
But I got you get like constipated after you have a baby, and like there's medications and all that kind of stuff that's happening. So like you don't go to the bathroom for a long time, and then you get anal fissures, which anyone can get anal fissures. Like those are just little cuts on your butt crack, on your butthole.
Oh no!
Have you ever had one?
No, I don't think so.
I will say,
I think I would know.
I gave birth to a 9-pound baby.
Yeah,
and the fissures were the worst part of giving birth, of having a child.
But
so awful. It felt like I was pooping glass every time. It was horrific.
I feel like I'm reading that book, Scary Stories to Tell Kids in the Dark.
It was like Jared I would just be in the bathroom going, like it was horrible, horrible. So I finally, my friend who had a baby too was like, go to my ass angel. I went to her doctor and she gave me a couple of other ideas for how
My husband would love to be sent to an ass angel. I'll tell you what.
She gave me a couple ideas of how to like, work through this. And I was like, nothing's working. And she was like, okay, we're going to do Botox because it can't heal because your butt is working all the time.
Yeah.
You can't, it's not like you can't like splint a finger to another finger and have it not do any work for a few days.
Not another asshole
your butt
you can tether
is always working.
Yes.
So you have to basically paralyze, like I could still go, I went to the bathroom and everything fine, but it was just not, I think because you're clenching, because you're so scared of the pain, you're doing more damage.
Okay.
And so then I got the Botox and it completely cleared it up. It was.
How was it getting it put in there?
Fine.
Wow. I guess
fine.
after the fissures, it doesn't really matter.
A needle? Who gives a shit?
Get on in there.
I was like, I was like, I'll do this all day compared to what I've been going through. Yeah.
Honestly, this is the perfect shitstorm to set up to, for me to confess my trauma that I've been going through right now. And I think it's good to think about the fissures while thinking about my father has passed last week.
And everybody here at Who's the Bitch.
I'm so excited.
Everybody here at Who's the Bitch is sending you an emotional vial of Botox to help you get through this.
Into the anal fissures of grief.
Yes, your anal cavity of grief.
Thank you.
I like, obviously this is not the first time you're telling me. We've been talking about it and I'm so sorry, but I know like you have such a cool, strong family and husband and people getting you through, friends and family.
Yes.
And to everybody who listens to the pod and the LPN fam has been wishing Jackie, condolences on social media and stuff like that. And I've been sending her those messages. And
yes, I just want to say thank you. And I really do feel loved. And I just want to say I really appreciate all of the thoughts that and it's a really weird time.
Yeah.
And it is the kind of thing that honestly I've thought about Who's the Bitch a lot while going through this experience because it's so interesting with such a large grief that no one knows how the person experiencing the grief is going to react. Right. You don't know how to speak to them. You don't know how to talk about it. It is such a huge topic that is so shamed in so many ways of how you're supposed to talk about it. But I actually completely understand because I was talking a little bit on page 7 last week that so many old Southern women came up and asked me if I released him. Did I tell him it was time to go? And did you hold his hand and make sure he knew that you knew that it was his time to go? And I never would have thought that would be like something that would upset me or that I would feel untoward about. Because I've never thought to ask a person that before.
Yeah.
I don't think
it's sort of an inherently religious sentiment that I don't think you would subscribe to.
Yes.
Like that, a man is, first of all, like at what point have we said that men are waiting for women to let them do anything? Like, I'm just waiting for my daughter to come release me and then I'll go.
Especially my father. Don't worry. My father was not waiting for us to tell him what to do.
I do kind of believe that people wait maybe until they see their loved one last time and then they let go. I do believe people let go. I think it's weird that people are framing it to you like, oh, did you do like
you coming into your daughterly duty of what you're supposed to do? It was all those kind of questions.
You walked him to the doorway and put his hand in Jesus's hand.
And said, time to go, Daddy. Yeah. I've got work to do, Daddy. Better get your ass to the other side, Daddy. And I just, especially when you're talking with someone where I didn't have your average relationship with my father. I wasn't a daddy's girl.
Yeah,
it wasn't,
same here.
We had a very, and so especially when you have a complicated relationship with a person, you feel so many feelings. I'm dealing with this in so many ways I didn't expect to deal with it. And it really is, I find myself turning to the people that have lost parents already.
Yeah.
And I go to them and I'm like, how did you do it? What do I do now? And every person I talk to is just like, every day is different.
Yeah.
And it really is just that old adage of time. It is just time. And that pisses me off. That makes me want to say, you're the bitch.
I know.
Like, oh, it's just time. Oh, good.
Literally,
it's just
I said that to
time.
Jackie right before we started
But
recording.
but it is. But it also isn't. It is just time.
Yeah.
There is nothing else, because what else are you going to do? Because at the same, like, you can make your quote unquote jokes if I'm like, oh, when you're grieving, calories don't count. Oh, when you're grieving, you can make any accent you want. Oh, when you're grieving, you can do X, Y, and Z. And Henry and I have been making many jokes about our 6 weeks of grief time and what we're allowed to do.
Yeah, but
and
you
be.
don't have to put yourself on a time limit.
And also, even then, exactly, why did we create it? Because we created a bit around it.
Yeah.
Of how do we get past this? All right, we have
humor is
6
a
weeks.
huge way to get through it. And I think that that's perfectly awesome and healthy.
But also, thank God my family knew us to the extent that they know us, because Henry and I joked the entire the last week. All we did was make jokes. But like, sometimes that's not being a bitch in a grieving situation when it's like, we just don't know how else to deal with it. We're comedians.
Yeah.
How else do you deal with it? We just have to we're going to keep making daddy's dying jokes, I guess. And technically, our father would have really appreciated it. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that has reached out.
I think there's also no way you could be a bitch when you're grieving, kind of. I mean, I guess you could like set a house on fire or something, but like, just do whatever you want. There's no expectation. You think there are expectations, but anyone that has expectations like can fuck right off.
I think the biggest part, I think you can be a bitch if you're grieving, if you think that you're the only one grieving and that the people around you are not also affected by it. Things like even like in my marriage, of understanding that me being so drastically affected by this, Jeff is not going to be affected the same way. Yeah. But I know that how I am acting does affect him. And I know what I'm going through does affect him. And it's being cognizant of like, hey, how are you doing too? Like shouldering me while I go through this.
Yeah, because that's your partnership.
That's part of, and I think that is how you can be a bitch sometimes, or at least you can come off as being a bitch if you are like, this is only happening to me.
Yeah, and people do have those phases, and then I think once you're out of it a little bit and you can look back, you're like, wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I think I really was like taking up a lot of space, and I don't think I thought about how your life was affected by this, and you can go back and repair that kind of stuff, But
thank you.
I doubt
for
you're
the
doing
space.
that too much. I really do.
No, I just cry in the dark. But it's good because I'm on
in the dark.
so much medication now that it's difficult for me to cry during the light. So it's kind of good, Turn me to stone. Oh yeah, baby.
God.
Put a sword in me. I'm done. But, they're not done changing the rules over at Con.
Seamless transition. We're going to do some unsolicited advice right now, which is when the part of the show where we just comment on shit that's in the zeitgeist and no one asked us for our advice, and here we are.
Yep.
Jackie, what happened oh, by the way, we looked this up before we got on the mic. If you want to know how to, the Cannes Film Festival, the Cons. We looked up how a French person says it, and they say gun. So the Cannes Film Festival.
Thank you for saying it properly, or else I would have thrown up all over the microphone, Kara. Now, at 2025 Cannes this year, they decided to change the dress code, but they changed it a day before the festival began. They said, for decency reasons, nudity is prohibited on the red carpet as well as in any other area of the festival. Fine. Voluminous outfits, in particular those with a large train that hinder the proper flow of traffic of guests and complicate seating in the theater, are not permitted. The festival welcoming teams will be obligated to prohibit red carpet access to anyone not respecting these rules.
This is because of last year, there was this bitchy female security guard who was like touching people. Wasn't that a thing last year?
With the dress and moving
all
the
these
dress,
dresses
and it's just all
like
this.
The whole fucking point of this is that there are these voluminous, crazy outfits that go down the stairs, and that's how you get more press to your fucking film festival that is increasingly more irrelevant. This is so European too. It's fine. You want to change the rules? Fine. Sure. Send that press release out the week after Con 2024, baby.
Yes.
You're not just throwing this out the day before. What the fuck? People have been getting these outfits together for months.
And working with designers. It's like, that's not something you can just change overnight.
And they're like, oh, by the way, you cannot bring your fat dress to this film festival.
Too fat, off the red carpet.
Get it out of here.
It's just crazy because now I watched this happen. I saw that this was being talked about at the end of last week. And then I was like, man, I bet they're going to do. And they did exactly what I expected. Now the internet is just publicly shaming the people that wore the dresses that are like, but it's against the dress code.
Okay.
But they literally just changed the dress code.
So like who's shown up and gotten some shit?
So I know that Halle Berry during this year, even though Halle Berry's outfit didn't seem that voluminous, like it was like thicker. It was, but I guess
I'm on foxnews.com right now.
Run away, Gara. It is just so crazy to me that people can think that they are so powerful that they can, at the drop of a hat, be like, but this is what I want now. And it will always be like this forever.
It feels like almost like, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, this feels like a publicity stunt. This is like a weird flex, like we're Khan, and you must do whatever Khan says, even if it's we say jump, you say how high, even the minute before this thing starts, because ultimately these celebs are all going to go to Khan. It's still pretty like prestigious, I guess.
Think about that even with the real ID. Everybody, we just had
they've been telling us for so long to get that fucking real ID.
So long. And then and a friend of mine.
Khan is the real ID of the film festival circuit.
Yes,
that is so good.
Yes. And a friend of mine got their license in Arizona. And I guess Arizona, your license never expires. So he's like, I had no reason to go get a new license.
Never expires.
Apparently your license never expires in Arizona, everybody. It's something I had no idea.
Okay.
So he's like, so I got to go get a brand new ID to go get a real ID. He's like, I don't want to do that. But he went to the airport anyway. Here's what the TSA is like kind of telling people of like, okay, I know we said like, we swear this time, if you don't have a real ID, you are not getting on this plane. But that's like kind of not the case. If you have a passport, they're like, okay, if you're going to get the real ID in the next couple of years, you can get on the plane.
Yeah.
And they're doing
I got it, by the way. I got it 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I was like, I got to get this. They said we got to have it.
And
they just kept
immediately got
moving it back.
I have had
moving
two
it back.
real IDs
My second
since.
real ID is coming at the end of the summer.
Exactly. I am so scared of the rules.
Yeah.
The second you say jump,
But even without a
I'm going to
passport,
jump.
even without a passport, supposedly at LAX at least, there's a line that says no real ID, and you can you just have to go through extra checks.
Which
so if you don't have
sense.
that, yeah.
I just can't imagine the amount of people pleaser that I am, that if I heard the new rules of Khan and I was going Khan and I was breaking the rules, I think I would flip out and I don't think I would be able to go.
Yeah.
Like, I think I'd be like, oh, now the rules are this way and there's no way that I could possibly do it. And isn't that insane? That like society has trained me so diligently.
Yeah, I think they're doing this to say like, oh, well, obviously we're not going to turn away Heidi Klum if she comes in a voluminous gown. We're not going to come if Halle Berry has a nipple out or something. I mean, we're not going to not make her come. So I feel like this is just to get in the news and start like a little thing.
That makes sense. No, Halle Berry did sacrifice her original dress because I was like, that's not even that voluminous. No, she gave up her original dress. And it was Heidi Klum that still, because Heidi Klum's dress is unbelievable.
Quite voluminous.
It is quite voluminous. But she was still allowed to walk the car. Like, I'm just telling you, you're right. It's the real ID.
Well, also, wasn't there a racist element to it? Not for nothing, but Europe is pretty racist in a lot of ways. But like, not that America's got anything better on that. But I'm just saying, like, when I lived in Italy, I was like shocked at the outward racism and like, and France for sure. Like, I remember last year, it was like that security guard was giving shit to a lot of actresses of color. And not as much.
Right,
Heidi Klum is about as white as you can get.
Right.
So I wonder if it's like, well, of course we're going to let Heidi through.
Yeah, and also I think it's like they really were trying to get against the nearly nude, like Julia Garner's wearing like an almost nude dress.
Yeah.
But even that,
it's peekaboo.
We've been doing these peekaboos for a lot, like the mostly nude dresses. We've kind of been doing this for a minute,
I thought
guys.
France was like free, kind of
all
like
nudie
all
dudes.
like
Everybody's
Americans
nudie
are
boots.
Puritans and like I don't know. This is reeking to me of a publicity stunt.
You're right.
That they just are like, oh, no one's really talking about Can and whatever. Everyone's Everyone's talking about Eurovision and no one's talking about Cannes.
Yep.
Pay attention to us.
And now we are.
You know that feeling when someone shows up for you just when you need it most? Yeah, I mean, we all need that. That's what Uber's all about. Not just a ride or dinner at your door. It's how Uber helps you show up for the moments that matter. Because showing up can turn a tough day around or make a good one even better. Whatever it is, big or small, Uber is on the way, so you can be on yours. Uber, on our way.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Before we jump into our solicited advice, I just want to give an update on a past episode that we did because we ask you guys for updates all the time.
And we love updates.
And I love an update, so thank you so much. This is not us trying to pat ourselves on the back. We're just trying to give everybody an update. Okay, so we got an email that says, "You've got bitch. Thank you so much to you bitchy queens. First, I almost peed myself with excitement when I heard you read my question. Second, your passion really buzzballed me up and I confronted my husband when he got home." This is, by the way, I should have said so first. This is the woman who her mother was going to take her and her daughter on a trip to Spain, and her husband was acting like a bitch about it. He was upset that he wasn't included, and we gave some advice about that, how, she needed to talk to him and get him to grow up. So, your passion really buzzballed me up and I confronted my husband when he got home. I really honed in on how it denies our daughter the ability to celebrate this exciting thing in her life. He was super receptive, apologized, and agreed to stop being mopey. So I tested him at dinner and I brought up Spain and a theme park we had found. He asked our daughter questions about it and was not a little bitch. Huzzah.
That's wonderful.
Thank you for giving me the strength of my inner bitch to unbitch my husband. You two should seriously be awarded keys to every city. Well, that sounds
Let us in every single city. I love that idea.
Signed, no longer bitched up abroad.
Love
this. And now this
dude.
little girl can talk and get excited about her
Yes.
trip. And dad can go on the next trip to Europe. And
Europe will still be there.
I like that you got something out of this because you know what? We don't hear back from a lot of people. So I think sometimes they're like, fuck these bitches, and they don't listen to our advice and they stop listening.
No, we really appreciate your updates and thank you guys so much. And for anybody that wants to get a hold of us, who'sthebitch.com.
Yes.
Hit us up. You can leave us an email. You can leave us a voicemail. We love hearing
you
from you.
You can DM us on Instagram, which is Who's the Bitch LPN. Go over to our Instagram for some fun. We're putting memes up there. We're making bitchlets, by the way.
Hell yeah.
If you wrote into us, by the way, and you don't follow us on Instagram, we may have already answered your question. We're doing sort of quicker, maybe not lower stakes always, but just quicker
More
versions
succinct.
of the succinct versions
Yes.
of the show. We're on our Instagram where we do bitchlets and we answer a question quickly. So go check out and see if we've answered you on a bitchlet on Who's the Bitch LPN on Instagram. All right, let's hop into this week's emails and voicemails.
Love it.
Our first is an email.
Okay, great.
And I am going to read the compliments out loud at the beginning because I like them.
Yeah.
You've got
Hi, Jackie and Kara. First, I love the show. I just binged the first 20 episodes over the last 2 weeks, and I'm listening to 21 as I write this.
Awesome.
I can't get enough. This week, something came up, and I need your help. I want to start by saying this. My wife is Wonder Woman to me. We have a hilarious, high-energy 5-year-old, and while my wife is the primary wage earner and works a ton, I also work full-time and handle most of the daily parent duties, school, activities, meals, etc. And honestly, I love it. Being a dad is my favorite thing in the world.
We love.
Immediate props for the division of duties. I'm
Yeah.
loving that. We're both amateur level competitive athletes in different sports.
Ooh,
Love
okay,
this.
sexy couple.
Couldn't be
okay.
further away from me.
Me, oh yeah.
But I like this. Okay, he writes, nothing fancy, but we care about it. It keeps us happy and sane. Since our annual competitions fall in the same month, we made a deal 2 years ago. My wife would compete in 2024 and I'd have my turn in 2025. That way we could each train seriously while still showing up for our kid.
Whoa.
This is the first time since our son was born that we've trained and competed. And even at our level, competition training takes a ton of time.
Yeah.
Plus, we're both fighting off years of rust between COVID and baby, which means months of heavy parenting for me while my wife was in prep mode last year. Again, I love being a dad, so no complaints on that front. Unfortunately, she got injured right before her event last year and couldn't compete. It broke my heart. She trained hard and deserved to compete. Thankfully, though she was too hurt to compete last year, she fully recovered. Now it's 2025, my turn. I've got a flexible work schedule, so my plan, which we agreed on together, was to train in the mornings after school drop off, work in the afternoon, do pick up and after school activities, and work again in the evenings. But this week, my wife told me she signed up to compete this year instead, since she missed out in 2024. She plans to train in the evenings so I can still have mornings. On paper, our training times don't overlap, but in practice, it means I'm doing drop off, morning training, pick up, lead parenting through the evening while she trains, and then working after our son's bedtime and on weekends. Technically, I can do it, but it's not going to be sustainable and it will affect my ability to compete well. I already shouldered this load last year so she could train. This was supposed to be my window. To add another layer, we're both in our mid to late 40s, so let's be real. Father time is undefeated. The clock is ticking on being able to compete at all. So I get why she doesn't want to miss another year, but I don't either. It feels like I'm having my turn stolen a bit. I'm not sure what to do about it. So 2 questions. Am I being a bitch? If so, please tell me and I'll get over it. If not, how do I handle this without being a bitch? I haven't addressed it yet, but I'd love to know how you'd prefer to be approached about this. What say you, a wise woman of bitchery? All the love, A. I love a man writing into us.
Great
I love when men are looking
question,
for
too.
self-improvement and stuff as well. This is tough.
Yes.
Because on one hand, I wanted to immediately side with your wife only because her body went through, and I'm assuming you didn't mention having a surrogate or adopting, so I'm assuming your wife went through the process of giving birth to a baby. And I think like that is so tough on your body, especially if you're an athlete. Like, I'm not an athlete. I've barely been able to bring myself to work out post babies. Like, it's so
also
hard.
in your early 40s as well. So,
Yeah. And like, it just does so much crazy stuff to your body. So I'm like, I mean, let's give your wife that year because literally her body has gone through this huge trauma and this whole thing. But then I don't like the part of the email where you say that she just told you she signed up.
Yes.
That's not how you guys operate. You guys are supposed to communicate. So like,
especially when you so effectively communicated years ago where you said 2024 was going to be her year.
Yeah.
2025 is going to be your year. And I do wonder, which, not to say that this is something that always happens in a partnership, but sometimes you kind of just do it because she already knows what the answer is.
Yeah.
Was that it's not her year and she should probably work slowly towards doing it for next year. And because you guys have such effective communication, I imagine this was also a big shock to you.
Yeah.
Because it was something that she did that she didn't talk to you about. And I imagine you also have even more feelings about that on top of it because it is your time that is being fucked with.
Yeah.
And that is completely valid to feel this way. So I don't think that the way that you're feeling at all is being bitchy. Can I just take that off the table?
I don't necessarily think anyone's being a bitch because it's not like she just signed up and said, sorry, I'm doing it.
Fuck off.
Because she thought you guys could just split the days. But I hear what you're saying. That's not sustainable. That's gonna wear on your parenting. That's gonna wear on your relationship. Where in this do you guys have time for each other?
Right.
Where in this stuff about
and for yourself, self-care,
doing your work and working out for your sport, are you guys ever gonna hang out together? You're gonna be exhausted. This is gonna put a big strain on your relationship. So I do think one of you needs to step out of this, out of the competition year.
Yes.
Personally, I think that when you speak to her, you should say like, hey, I would have loved if we'd spoken about this in advance. Maybe you would have even stepped aside if you heard her concerns and said, you take 2025 and I'll take 2026 with the stipulation that if you get injured again, babe, like I got to take 2026, like if you get injured 2 years in a row, like I do get to go.
Right.
But I think that how you're feeling is valid, but I don't think anyone's being a bitch. I think she thinks this is something that maybe you guys can handle and you disagree. And I would tend to agree with you because it just sounds like a lot.
And I do also wonder if, especially we don't know specifically what fields you're in, that I do wonder if she thinks she has less time than you have. Because especially you brought up top that like she is the one that makes the majority of the money for the household and things like that. Or more for the household that I imagine that she probably saw it all going down the drain right in front of her and she was grasping at straws, which also, if that's how she's feeling, you guys got to talk.
You just got to talk about it.
You guys got to talk about it.
Because like maybe you guys are planning on having another one or something and she's like, I got to do this before my body goes back into this whole thing again. Maybe you're not.
But we got to talk about it.
I'm literally just throwing things out here that could have been going on in her mind when she just went and signed up, because I think she thought she could ask for forgiveness instead of permission. And that's that's fine. But you guys got it. You guys just have to talk about this. Like, it's like 90% of our advice is like, just fucking talk about it. But I don't think you're being a bitch.
I do think, though, going to her not in a way of any kind of defensiveness. I think that if you can, really respond and not react, which it seems like you're doing since you already hit us up, of talking to her about like how you felt and how her actions made you feel and discussing that before just coming in of like, you shouldn't have done this. You shouldn't have just gone behind my back.
Which doesn't sound like your
sound
vibe
like
at
you guys.
all.
Yeah.
The way that you're writing this. But I think it's like, I think you just come, really gently and are like, I just want to talk about this. Like, I'm not feeling like, I feel a little bit like, you went ahead and did something without talking to me, and everything that we've done, and we're a partnership. And I don't think it's sustainable to do this half and half thing. So where does that leave us?
Right.
And maybe you're willing to push off till 2026. And I get it. I think it's so like admirable that you guys are this disciplined, because I'll be honest, with the kids, it's so hard.
Because that's the thing. You could go forward and still both do it. But I think you both need to have an honest conversation of what you really can take and how sustainable. Because you said it's not sustainable, but it's like, how not sustainable are we talking? Because if this is something that's going to immediately, truly derail your brain space as well, that's going to further.
It's going to just domino effect to the rest of your life.
To everything else.
Yeah. Like your kid is going to be like, my parents are so tired all the time, which listen, we are, all of us are tired all the time. But I just think it's going to affect your work, your relationship with your wife, like all these different things with you guys doing like both of you intensely like working to train at the same time.
Also, congratulations.
Yeah.
Good
Maybe you
on
think you
ya.
guys can do it. Maybe you're going to go, all right, this is a challenge. We're going to try it. But why don't you guys set up the check-ins and go, if it starts to look like X, we realize this isn't working out. If I start to feel like this or you start to feel like this, we got to pull back on this plan.
Yes. And also discussing with your partner why she didn't discuss it with you first, I think is also important.
Yeah.
To find out why.
Yeah.
Because it seems like you guys are effective communicators. So I feel like sometimes, I try to effectively communicate my own relationship, but when you fuck up, sometimes it's like, okay, well then where did this come from?
Oh, I absolutely do shit like this where I just, I do shit like this all the time where I just like book something and then I go, oh, by the way,
sorry.
And then I'm like, is that okay? Like I ask later because I want to do the thing.
Right.
And that's just not, I'm acknowledging that that's not working as a team and being an effective team player. But thank you for writing us. And honestly, write us back and just tell us what sports you do. I'm really interested in knowing. We won't say it on the air if you don't want us to, but I just really want to know what you guys are, what your sports are. All right, let's listen to a voicemail.
Thank you for calling Who's the Bitch. Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, Jackie. Hi, Kara. I don't want this to be too long, so I'm going to get right to the point. I have a bachelorette weekend coming up. It's out of town from a really good friend. We're going to be doing a biking winery tour. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be great. My situation is this. I'm really worried about some of her other friends that I'm not very close with creating a scene and ruining the weekend. Some of them are great, but some of them can be really dramatic and, for lack of a better word, selfish, honestly pretty toxic. In the past, when we've all gone out together, someone in this group always ends up getting upset about nothing and just making it all about themselves and literally ruining the evening for everyone. So I just know that someone is going to create a bunch of drama and just ruin the whole bachelorette weekend for my friend. I'm already mentally preparing myself for the possibility that I'll need to step in and tell someone off, tell them to stop being immature and selfish. But I'm looking for your advice on how I can handle this situation without making it worse or without pulling my friend, the bride-to-be, into the drama even more. I'm one of her more chill friends, so I'm thinking she'll probably need me to be there as the non-drama person to hang out with when the drama inevitably erupts. So what do you guys think? Should I stay out of any drama that erupts in this other friend group so that I can be that detached, drama-free person for her to hang out with? Or is there a way that I can step in, be a bit of a bitch, but diffuse the situation without making it worse? I feel like my friend is already taking on way too much responsibility for planning this weekend because she doesn't have a bridal party. So I want to be there for her, and I want to, I don't want her to feel responsible for making sure that everyone is having a good time and that, you know, she's responsible for handling this situation. I want to be there for her and be able to let her just enjoy the weekend. So any thoughts you have would be really helpful. Thank you in advance. Bye.
Ooh, this is a
la
good
la.
one. This is a good one.
You know we love anything surrounding a wedding, but a dramatic bachelorette party is so good. Okay.
Bachelorette party.
I mean, listen, I have been on bachelorette parties where nothing unites a bachelorette party like everybody hating one person who's misbehaving.
Certainly.
Like, I was part of one time, a huge bachelorette party where one girl was acting like such a fool that she got disinvited from the wedding and from being a bridesmaid.
Damn,
Like, so,
whoa.
I mean,
And the way. Okay, what did she do? Yeah,
she
just
was
real
invited.
quick, what'd
She
you
was
do?
invited to the wedding. She didn't come after she got downgraded. Just like, honestly, just a lot of bitchy comments, like judging the place we were staying, like just not being supportive of the bride. Like, I don't know.
Not supporting the vibe.
I didn't think the bride needed to go that far, but I was like, why don't you just talk about it? You know, my usual. Why don't you just and she was basically just like, well, I told her that if she doesn't like apologize for this behavior, she's out of the wedding. And then they just got into a fight. And but I mean, it's like, it's crazy. Like, there's just, the emotions are so high around anything wedding related. But okay.
What I need to
What do you
remind
think?
Okay, you're bringing the chill vibes. This is your job. Part of you being invited in this is she needs you.
Yeah.
She needs you to keep the vibes as chill for her. Now, it is not your responsibility to make sure everybody is chill and everybody's having a good time. That's not on you. But coming in prepared for people to fuck up and prepared for them to start the drama sometimes puts yourself on edge going into the situation, so you're already primed to pop off.
Yeah.
You're ready, like you're already so tense because of what could be. What I'm tasking you with is trying to release your own butthole.
Yes, Botox that butthole, girl. Let it
Botox
that butthole.
I think that it going in and trying that every time if drama starts happening, that you are the person that goes up to the bachelorette to be like, hey, what's up? You want to go smoke a joint outside? Let's go smoke a joint.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe that is just my usual tactics because usually going into, you know, whether it's bachelorette or just like big, like, you know, girls' weekends or stuff like that, that oftentimes now, I used to be the friend that brought the party. I knew what I was there to do. I was there getting everybody taking shots. But now I'm the weed friend. I am invited to things. I know what my role is. I'm the one that says, hey, do you want to go sneak out front and have a joint? If everybody is having a flip out time or everybody's tense about something, I know what my role in the friend group is. And I think it's embracing that because you're not with your usual friend group because it's a bachelorette. So of course it's going to be a mixture of different kinds of people, which is why the only vibe you can control, caller, is your own.
Yeah, that's true.
And reminding yourself of that. But it is sometimes, and I do even put this to you, sometimes you might have to, in the middle of a conversation, be like, oh, excuse me, I should gotta go to the bathroom. And just look in the mirror and just go, I'm not gonna give into this. I'm not gonna let them win. And do it for you. Because the only person that's going to remain upset is you and the bride.
Yeah. Well, okay. I guess I agree with you. And I'm also wondering, like, can you talk to the bride a little bit and just go, hey, like, I am so excited for this weekend.
Love that.
I'm pumped. Like, we're going to have the best time ever. I know sometimes Cindy and Sarah and Janet, these are 95-year-old women you guys are bringing on the Bachelor.
I love it.
I'm like, you know, I know sometimes Cindy and Sarah and Janet can sometimes get a little bit drunk and like start a little bit of drama. Is there a way you want me to handle that? Like because I want to have fun and I don't want you to like put it on the bride, but just be like, do you want me to be on that duty of like trying to diffuse that? Or do you just want to like, should we have like a code word where you just want to like go outside or go to the bar and get a shot? Like, I don't know, like you're saying like the weed thing, what you're talking about. I don't know what your friend's into, but there's got to be some kind of thing that is going to make your friend feel good when it feels like tensions are getting high in some way. And maybe if you could like figure that out in advance, and then she knows you've got her back and that you're not in the bridal party, but you're acting almost like a bridesmaid in this situation where you're like, I'm going to help make sure that at least you and me have a good time, babe.
Or
like not
talk to the bridal party too. If you don't want to put it on the bride and also if you're friends with
she said there's no bridal party, but you mean all the bachelorettes.
Right, exactly.
Yes. I was going to say that as well. I was like, you could also write an email.
Yes.
Just being like so excited to have a fun, positive, like
here's a little
drama-free,
bit of tea.
like drama-free. Oh, I was going to say, could you identify also a couple of other chill girls and create like a little chill posse within the group so that you guys are all on the same page when, Cindy and Janet and Sarah pop off.
Right.
So, I think, but I agree. Like, I don't think it's going to be your idea to go, hey, you're ruining the bachelorette. Like, I think that's going to fucking just make things. But I think there's like subtle, quiet things you can just do if that's happening to like move the bride away, move to a different location, like kind of just be like, okay, well, we're all here. We're having fun. Like, I mean, there's a way to like kind of camp counselor this shit and just try to be really positive that hopefully you can diffuse these girls. I don't know exactly what their brand of bitchy drama is, but goddamn, that sounds fucking exhausting.
It does.
You even have to like get stressed about this in advance. It's like, I always know there's going to be a little bit of shit talk when a bunch of girls get together for a weekend like this.
Of course.
But the fact that you think that there's going to be something that's like could be night ruining is like stressful.
Sucks.
So
but you remember that? I think that everybody has did you have anybody at your wedding that was, obviously you don't have to name them, that maybe made a fool out of themselves and you thought, I knew I shouldn't have invited that person?
No, I didn't have anybody at my wedding.
Okay,
like
that's
that.
good.
And
that's
I'm
good.
talking, and I even had a comedian have sex in the woods at my wedding, and most people heard it. And I still don't regret inviting him.
Wow.
And you know him.
Now I'm so curious as to who it is.
Yeah. But like my bachelorette, it's like, I remember one of my friends at my bachelorette, she's just like on another planet and she was like saying a bunch of rude shit to other ones of my friends, but like not intentionally. And like people told me later, they weren't like bringing it to me then because I was extremely wasted. But yeah, I was the same. Like I was the same. I only had my sister as a bridesmaid, and my sister's not like a big party planning type. So I planned like my whole bachelorette, and it was like on me that I felt like I wanted everybody to have a good time. So I understand the stress that your bride friend is going through, and I think it would have made me feel really good just to hear another friend go, "Listen, we're gonna have so much fun. Me, you, and chill friend 2 and chill friend 3.
Take care of
that
this.
Like if anything pops off with those other girlies, like we got it, like don't worry about it, like whatever. Even if you're not going to get directly involved, just make it seem to your friend that you are and that you've got it covered and like that. Yeah, because it's just like drama girls and drinking. It's just like always turns into something.
Turns into something.
But you're a good friend for like trying to preemptively think about this.
Yes.
And I think this is great.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.
Instacart is here to keep you on the couch this basketball season. With pre-game rituals and post-game interviews, it's hard to find time for everything else. Let Instacart handle your game day snacks or weekly restocks with delivery in as fast as 30 minutes. Because it's bad luck to be hungry on game day. Download the Instacart app today and enjoy $0 delivery fees on your first 3 orders. Service fees apply for 3 orders in 14 days. Excludes restaurants.
Let's get into another email, Jackie.
Okay. You've got... Hi, I'm Stephanie, 38, longtime LPN listener, first-time participant. Me and my partner of 16 years have 2 kids together, preteens and teenager era of sports and busy schedules. So, we're in bed after a particularly long night of kids, baseball, and cooking dinner. I finally was ready for sleep. It was 12:30 a.m. after all. So my mister decides now is the time he wants to fool around. I stop him twice from advancement, give in and make out for a little, figuring that'll hold him off and I can go to sleep. And then I finally say, actually, I'm not in the mood. I'm just so freaking tired. It's 12:30. I don't want to be touched. And, I'm on my period. Please, can I just go to sleep? He says, I'm sorry, and stops. Literally is snoring within 2 minutes. Am I a bitch for setting that boundary Or am I indoctrinated into thinking you're supposed to please your partner because there are other ways to pleasure without penetration? The way I grew up was with a very traditional Spanish Catholic aunt. She was and still is always saying things like make sure the house is clean when he gets home from the workplace, please him at home so he doesn't stray, make sure you look presentable for him, and other insane standards that make me want to vomit up a Stepford wife. Yet here I am, exhausted, because I told my partner that I need sleep. It's 12:30 a.m. at night, and we have busy schedules with the kids in the morning. I'm on my period, and the very last thing I want to do right now is fool around. So am I the bitch?
I mean, this is a quickie. No.
No.
This is a quickie.
No,
and I mean,
no. I understand why you feel the way you feel.
I understand what you're saying, but like, honestly, and I hope I only picked this one, honestly, because I wanted other people to hear it too and just hear you don't owe your partner sex ever. They could be inside of you and you could say, Actually,
I'm done.
I don't want to do this anymore. You don't owe them ejaculation or finishing or anything like that. You just don't. It's just not a thing.
It is one thing to look at your partner and say, ew, get away from me. Stop it. Fuck off. It's one thing to say that. It's all in, and I know that we say this all the time, but it's all in how you communicate it. Even like your husband going, oh, I'm sorry, turning over and going to sleep. That is the best way a partner could ever of just
and
like,
it obviously
so
didn't bother him. He wasn't sitting up crying. He fell asleep within 2 seconds. Men are trained to shoot their shot whenever they can. At least, I think that my husband does that. He's always like, and I'm like, no. And he's like, okay,
cool. And it is like the throwing it out there. And I think that we are so used to, and I can't speak for the person that's writing in, but I can certainly speak for myself as being a plus size person for most of my life of being like, well, you should just be thankful someone wants to fuck you. And there's also like that level of it too, of that you always have to say yes because you're not probably going to get it again. And there's also like, there's so much that is so wrapped up in saying no to a person that you have sex with or a person that you don't have sex with. It's oftentimes difficult and difficult to be listened to sometimes.
I think you did the exact right thing though by just going, it's 12:30. I'm so tired. And
you tried.
And like the period's usually like a pretty good like beep boop. I mean, although my husband's always like, I don't care.
Yes. Yes, most don't care.
But most don't care. But what I was going to say is if you want to make yourself like feel a little bit, what I normally do is I go, I'm on my period. I'm so tired. This weekend we'll do it. Like, I'm just like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not just like you're never getting sex again. I'll be like, this weekend, let's do it Saturday or whatever. But I'm a planner. You don't have to do that. I'm just kind of like, hey, I promise we're going to do it soon or whatever.
And also sometimes I still say it's sexy of like, hey, I am really, really into this right now, but I'm like falling asleep and I love you. But like, tomorrow.
Yeah. Let's fucking go to town.
Because I know even, there's so much discourse around the idea of scheduling sex and things like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with scheduling sex. I think it is actually something that you can really use all the time of the day for foreplay. You can use, it's like, there's something, I think that there's a lot that can be added into scheduled sex too. And it is in how you communicate that not right now, but baby.
Yeah.
Oh, baby,
it's going to be so good when
baby,
it happens.
I am up. What do we say? It's like my brain really wants it, but my body's just not willing right now.
Because I'll tell you something. You can tell your Catholic aunt. I've known, I'm sorry, I assumed Catholic.
She said Spanish Catholic aunt. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You can tell your Catholic aunt that I know so many people who have been cheated on or their marriages have worked out that are like, we had sex all the time.
Right.
Had sex all the time. I was not withholding sex. That has nothing to do with it. Like,
no.
I think like.
it goes back to the baby girl discourse, which makes me so upset of how many times they're like, there's no way Nicole Kidman would have ever left Antonio Banderas because he's a good man and they have sex. He's a good man and they have sex. And it's again, you do realize that not all people cheat because they're not fucking, right? You do understand that not all people cheat because their partner is quote unquote bad,
Right.
right? Like it's just
totally.
A lot happens, but I understand for feeling like the bitch in this situation, and you are released.
Yeah.
We release you from it.
Yeah, this whole fucking narrative that like you got to keep men happy and they won't leave. Trust me, they still can.
We're talking about this on Love on the Spectrum that makes me so happy. The discourse between James, one of my favorite people in Love on the Spectrum, and his father, when his father makes the antiquated like happy wife, happy life. And he's like, actually, Dad, I think it's happy spouse, happy house. And I was like, you're right. Happy spouse, happy
both
house.
sides should be happy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's wow. So much wisdom from Love on the Spectrum.
I love it.
Okay, let's. This is a funny one. Let's do this one.
Thank you for calling. Who's the bitch? Tell us in the voicemail who's the bitch. Beep.
Hi, ladies. I am a big fan of the podcast. I've listened to a bunch of episodes. I just really quickly wanted to leave a very low stakes question, and I'll try and keep it short. I lent one of my favorite romance novels. It's called Get a Life, Chloe Brown by Talia Hibbert to a coworker, and because she told me she really wanted to read it. And I lend books to people all the time. I'm not precious with my books. It's not like it's a limited edition or anything, but I lent it to her, and I lent it to her 5 months ago, and she finally gave it back to me today. And it is beat up to hell. All of the edges are frayed and brown. It's like covered in dirt. It's like the cover's torn at the edges. But there's a bunch of like clearly like the spine has been like thoroughly cracked. There's nothing like falling off, but like it's fucking beat up. And she even like made the joke of like, oh, she tore through it. I'm like, when? When did you? Clearly you tore through it. I'm like, when? Because it's been 5 months. Anyway, is she the bitch for ruining the book that I lent to her? Or am I the bitch for being pissed off that she ruined a book that I lent to her? Anyway, like I said, low stakes. We're pals. But yeah, thanks. Have a great day.
Oh, I love a low stakes.
This.
I love a low stakes. Listen,
I would give my shit I made my friends so much shit if they gave me a book back like that.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever stop. Be like, not that I should give it to you because, remember how you gave back that book? Like, I feel like I would be that person that I don't know if I could ever not bring up the fact of what they did to the book, even though not out of anger, just more of like, if I ever did that to a book, let alone a book that wasn't my book, you go out and you owe that person a different book.
Yeah.
You bring them back the copy, your shame copy, and you get them a new copy of the book.
I'm just like, also like, I've borrowed books. I borrow books a lot. And I think also because I'm married to like a bookophile or whatever you would call it. Like my husband is obsessed with books. Like if I took a book of his and just like kind of threw it on the bed, he'd be like, those are my book. Like those are his precious things. Okay. Like he does not want, unless it's like some tattered copy, but like a book, like he loves his books. So through him, I have learned to treat books more respectfully, but you're borrowing something from someone else. Like you have to return it in exactly the same, like, condition that you borrowed it in.
Yes.
And whenever I borrow a book from somebody, I'm like, if my kids try to touch it, I go, don't touch that. That's borrowed. Like I'm borrowed, so to me, I'm wondering if this is how she is about other shit she borrows.
Yes.
Like if she was to borrow like your vacuum cleaner, would she bring it back like filled with the shit and broken?
Right.
You know?
Also, at first I thought you were upset because it took her 5 months because I was about to be like, I am certainly the friend that will borrow something and forget to get
and
it
every
back.
time I see you, I'm going, I'm starting this weekend. I'm going
to put it in my car.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it back to you. I'm going to, and it's just how many times I am that friend because, I want to blame my ADHD, but certainly if I am not looking at it, and if you are not reminded, like if it's not in the calendar in my brain, it does not exist. So you have to make sure you make it into that calendar in some fashion. So I will return it to you. So I thought that it was going to be an issue about that because I am pretty bad about
the 5 months.
things.
Is wild.
It is wild, and I would have done that.
But it's like if you're not reading it, what does it matter? Unless you promise it to someone else. Like that's a good way to light a fire. Is I always go. Somebody told me I borrowed the Hunger Games from somebody a while, like years ago, and they were like, I promised it to so and so. So I was like, oh, better go. And I like read it so fast because I knew someone else had it in line. But if you're not using it, the 5 months, I can get over that. It's the condition.
It's the condition. At that point, even returning it at that point would... Like, I would look at it and be like, what are you talking about? Yeah. I don't know if I would ever stop bidding, though, towards the
I mean, if you guys are pals and this is truly low stakes, I would just rib her about it. But I think also I worry about, I would be careful about lending her anything else. Because I think that this is not just a book thing. This probably goes across all things that she borrows.
Do you know people that are our age that are still very messy?
Oh, yeah.
I feel that way about anyone that's like, if you've gotten to this point and you're still so messy all the time, like when you bring the twister with you, I have some people in my life that are like that I'm like, how do you function? So it's like, imagine someone treating a book like that. It's like, what did you do with the book? Like, I'd have to know, like, what are all of these
happened?
things? It's like in this same way that I don't know why I feel sometimes it's like, oh, when you're sharing your fairy smut, I immediately would think it's like, oh, well, don't come all over that book. Come on now.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think that you're going to queef all over my book. I don't
Because, like, look, I'm on Amazon right now, and Get a Life, Chloe Brown, the novel is $10.97. So if you're going to return something tattered, let's spend the $10 and get her a new copy and go, I fucked up.
I fucked this up.
I don't think anyone's a bitch, but I wouldn't lend that bitch anything else, I'll tell you that much.
Maybe for her next birthday, you wrap up the bad copy of the book and you give it back to her for her birthday. But in that, you also open up a brand new copy and you say, but I also got this for me from you. Thank you so much. And maybe that's her birthday
That's
gift.
bitchy. That's fucking so bitchy.
I will say a family member of mine kept borrowing an air mattress and I was getting it returned not in the way that I wanted it to be returned. So finally, I gifted them the air mattress and I bought myself a new one. And
Happy
I said,
birthday,
congratulations. Henry, now you've got the air mattress.
Oh my God. All right.
I wasn't going to say it was Henry. And then I was like, we all know it's Henry.
Family member
Who the
that's
fuck else am I talking
mattress.
about? You live 2 minutes from me. Go buy an air mattress.
All right. We're going to do one more email. Okay.
You got
Hey, Jackie and Kara. I'm writing from the East Coast of Canada.
Ooh.
My household is a big fan of the network and loving this pod. I'd go to war for you ladies in a heartbeat. Okay. It might come to that. So thank you for being part of our militia. Okay. Here is my bitchuation. I created a trivia team with a coworker turned friend. We've been absolutely killing it at trivia and will win about 90% of the time. When you win the trivia night, you get a $50 gift card for the restaurant, and then there's a grand prize at the end of each season for some stupid beer swag. My partner and I have been so this is the writer's partner separately from the coworker.
Okay.
My partner and I have been getting an inkling that my coworker has been cheating at trivia.
Whoa.
The team will be debating a question and she'll show no signs of even thinking about it or being familiar with the subject. She'll go on her phone and then after a few more questions have passed, she'll magically know the answer. We were sus. My daughter loves to say sus now. We were sus because it would be answers to questions that she definitely did not know. For example, what is the alternative title to Frankenstein? Answer, the modern Prometheus.
I mean, everybody doth
Who doesn't know about the modern
Prometheus?
That would truly be like me knowing that. It would be crazy. All right. A couple weeks ago, my partner saw her go on her phone and write something on the trivia sheet. When we got home, he talked about keeping a closer eye on her during the next game. Trivia night rolls around and I'm watching her phone. One of the questions was about an actress who died in 2009, right after they concluded the final season of King of the Hill. I threw out Brittany Murphy. Then sure enough, I saw her hand creep to her phone and I saw a Google search of cast members.
But also, I can't believe it's not Brittany Murphy, by the way, because immediately I'm like, obviously it's Brittany Murphy, but sorry.
Yeah. I think it was maybe Brittany Murphy.
Oh, okay.
But the friend was Googling it.
Oh, okay,
Anyway.
gotcha. I thought you were about to say she Googled it and thought it was something else. I'm like, how could it not be Brittany Murphy?
No, I think it's definitely her. Then sure enough, I saw a hand creep to her phone and I saw a Google search of cast members. I was pissed. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to cause any drama or make a scene in front of our entire team. When I got home, I told my partner that I actually saw it. He was rotted and absolutely adamant that he's not going back to trivia anymore. And I don't feel very good about going back knowing our winnings have been a lie this whole time. I don't know how to move forward in this situation. My partner thinks I should confront her and tell her why we won't be going anymore. And I'm really uncomfortable with that. We work together and I'd like to still continue being friends. I'd rather just tell the team that we're not interested in going to trivia anymore because we keep winning and it's not challenging or as fun as it was. My partner thinks I'm avoiding the actual problem. The situation is really complicated with the relationship dynamic of a friend worker and also hundreds, probably thousands of dollars of gift cards that we've won. Wow, that you guys have been playing for.
Damn.
I'm not even sure what her motive is here because she doesn't even eat the fucking food. Maybe she just gets a rush from winning. Am I the bitch for trying to avoid a confrontation? Is my partner a bitch for wanting me to have a confrontation? I know my friend is definitely the bitch for putting me in this situation.
Yes.
This is a complicated one. Okay, first of all, let me say I fucking love trivia. Trivia was the activity at the welcome night of my wedding.
Really?
My friend ran a full trivia night at the welcome night of my wedding.
Wow.
So fun.
Do you go to bar trivia nights?
I do when I can. I'm not like regular, just like my schedule's too crazy, but like I love it. I love to go to trivia at High Tops, the gay bars. There's one in West Hollywood and now there's one on the east side that I go to. I love trivia. And I also had a friend in college who was, in retrospect, kind of a sociopath. And she would go into our room and we would always catch her looking at our Trivial Pursuit cards, just paging through them or whatever. And then she would always want to play Trivial Pursuit. And then she would do this whole act out where she'd go, oh God, what is it? Oh, the Battle of Jamestown? Like, and you'd be like, you don't know that. You did not know that. You've memorized it. And we just thought it was like the most psychotic thing. And I think it was like, wanting to appear smart, wanting to I don't think your friend's motive is like maybe even the rush of it's the rush of winning or feeling smart, feeling like she's on the team with you guys and feeling like she's like, even it's like cheating. I mean, people cheat for a lot of different reasons at different things.
I feel like if I saw it happening currently afterwards, I would have been like, did I see it? Like, I feel like I would bring it up in a way.
I mean, but I go to do trivia, it's like no one's really allowed to have their phones out.
Yeah, I thought you weren't supposed
you
to have your phones
them out. But if somebody on your team sees you doing the phone,
just takes all the fun out of it.
Yeah. I feel like you could avoid a confrontation and you could correct the problem if like at the beginning of the night you guys were like, hey guys, I heard another team arguing about cheating and just so we don't get involved, let's just
keep
put our phones away. Like nobody on phones during the question parts. Like you can do, if you need to check your phone because your kids are at home, you can do it during the scoring part or something.
Because I feel like I hate confrontation.
Yeah. I get it. And it's your friend from work and it's like kind of a wild thing to like blow up a work friendship over like cheating at bar trivia. It says something a little bit about them.
I definitely would always probably have a judgment in my brain of like oh, you cheat.
Yeah.
And I think personally, I would forever judge that person because of their choice. And I understand not wanting to continue being on the team with them.
Yeah.
But I think that I would definitely bring it up because you just never going back to the trivia. I mean, that's not.
Yeah, like you shouldn't have to do that. If you love doing it and you started the team, you should do it.
Yeah, and you're winners.
I think that you just do you just go, oh, guys, I think we should do like a no phones rule because like the guy who runs the trivia night told me that he thinks people have been cheating. So, and I bet you she doesn't even fucking reach for her phone because I bet that's enough of a scare to stop her.
I bet.
And I bet she'll stop.
Yeah.
Because I would stop. Like if it was like, hey, they think somebody might be doing that. And I was like, fuck, I've been kind of looking at my phone. Like you're only allowed to look at your phones during the scoring part of it or in between rounds or whatever.
I just can't imagine. My problem is, I know that I've said this on here before, but it's like I never went through like a stealing phase. I never went through I am so scared of getting caught doing what I'm not supposed to do that I have to follow the rules now. My anxiety is to such an extreme that I couldn't imagine someone seeing me look at my phone and seeing me look at the cat. Like, I think that
Oh no, I absolutely have been a stealer and a cheater throughout my life.
I love
all the
this
time.
about you.
And it's not that I don't have the anxiety of getting caught. I think it's like a challenge to myself of like, how will I handle it if I get caught? Can I lie my way out of it? What will I do? And I didn't get caught that much, honestly, doing cheating. Maybe I did a couple times. Not like on a person. I've never like cheated on a partner. I mean like on a test or like whatever. But yeah, like, I mean, in high school at one point, I remember I would just do my test on top of a notebook that had all the answers. And like my teacher just didn't know it. I was like, it's for cushioning. Like,
it's for cushioning for my wrist.
We used to all like load our answers into a TI-80. It was like, for me, it was like, it's not like the work was too hard for me. I could have done the work and like done it. It was just like, what's a way I can think smarter and not harder? You know, like I don't know, but I definitely would not encourage those same characteristics in like my children. I'm like, don't cheat, don't steal, but I definitely did. I'm not gonna lie.
And you got away with it.
But yeah, but cheating in trivia is like, I definitely, when I play trivia, as soon as the round's over, I will look up something on my phone to be like, were we right about that?
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, because that just nags at me. But yeah, you don't want to get like your whole fucking team disqualified for cheating. You know,
I would also be upset if she didn't eat the food.
The whole point of it is that you know stuff. Like, that's the whole point of trivia. Why are you doing that? I think maybe she feels a little insecure, like she doesn't know stuff.
I'm sure.
But honestly, she's not letting herself get challenged to do it because she's relying on the phone.
Exactly.
So I think it's like, let's all put our phones away because I don't want to get accused of cheating, and like, let us know what happens. I don't think you should confront unless you guys say that and she still does it. Then it's like, hey, like, we said to not do that. And like, or I mean, I think there's a way to even teasingly go, you didn't just look up the cast of King of the Hill, did you?
That's what I'm saying, like in a teasing
way. But it's like, you know, but you don't want to get busted, like, because that's the whole team. And then what if the bar is like, you're not allowed to come back and do this anymore, and that's something you like doing, that you started the team,
and then all of you aren't trusted anymore, because this is a break of trust.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to do trivia with this person anymore, just because I'm like, why'd you have to break my trust in a place where I didn't even expect my trust to get broken?
But I would also say that it's possible this friend doesn't think about it that way.
I
that
know,
it's
and
just like
it's just
they
a
feel
silly
insecure
thing.
about their intelligence, and that they just want to like help the team, and they're just doing it like in a way that, you know, but like, so I would say, before we jump to the fact that she's like betraying you, which is, it feels like what your partner feels.
Yes.
Which is definitely something you could think. I would just do.
I mean, they're on
this
a team, Kara.
Yeah,
of course they're going to feel betrayed.
I would just try this other thing, and if she keeps doing it, I'd be like, "Hey, we gotta have you leave the team, because like you keep looking at your phone, and like that's against the rules. Like, that's all."
But please tell us.
But yeah,
I want to know. Please, did you talk to them? What happened with it? Did you continue doing trivia?
Bitch.
Did you go? Because you know, we say all this advice, but of course, in my head, it was like, what would I really do in this? I'd probably like do exactly what you said. We don't go to that trivia night anymore, and just start going to a different trivia night.
Yeah, don't not stop. And also, yeah, like, and also, you know, I think also your partner is your partner, and obviously you take your partner's opinions to heart and consider them. But if you don't feel like confrontation is the right thing to do, that's okay. You're like, you know, men are always like, this is what you should do. It's like, that's not necessarily what you should do. Just because that's how he would handle it isn't necessarily how you would. And
right.
She is your work friend. And like, doing trivia once a month or once a week might be nothing compared to how many hours you spend in the office together, where she's your friend, and like, you know, I don't know what your office relationship is, but if you're close there, you don't want to fuck that up. So I think try what we said or something in that area, and then see if you can keep going. See if that teaches her a lesson. I bet it will. Because I can't imagine you keep fucking looking at your phone after people have brought it up.
No.
But, you know, then we're dealing with somebody who's like sociopathically cheating. And then you maybe have to say, get off the fucking team. I still don't think you should leave.
No.
But once again, thank you to everybody who wrote us today with your issues and low stakes or high stakes. We love you guys.
We love a bitchuation.
As we said before, who'sthebitch.com has all the ways you can contact us. If you are leaving a voicemail, we love the short ones, as you can tell. If you can try to get that in under 5 minutes, that's the way to do it. And we'll see you guys next week with a brand new episode.
Have a beautiful week, everybody. Enjoy yourself. Thank you again for everybody that has reached out and that is thinking about the Zabrowskis during this time period. And I just want to say it means a lot to me, and I appreciate everyone in our bitchlet community here.
Yes.
We're sending so much love out to you, bitchlings. Hit us up, who'sthebitch.com, and we'll be back next week. Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
Do Crohn's disease symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya guselkumab may help. At 12 weeks, rapid symptom remission was achieved in most patients taking Tremfya, and some experienced visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Individual results may vary. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and TB. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Explore what's possible and ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
McCrispy strips are now at McDonald's. I hope you're ready for the most dippable chicken in McDonald's history. Dip it in all the sauces. Dip it in that hot sauce in your bag. Dip it in your McFlurry. Your dip is your business. McCrispy strips at McDonald's.